Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy Simeon Russell coming at you with nothing but Knicks. We just saw the Knicks play an uninspiring game of basketball, and I'm a little bit disappointed, but we about to get into it. Mighty Knicks, what's happening with you, brother? Glad to see you on. I'm sure you saw the game. Kenny Smith Jr., what's poppin' with you, my bro? I'm glad to see you on. I'm sure you saw the game, and it was uninspiring to say the least. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We didn't really bring the first quarter. We brought some fire, a little bit of fire, but then it flamed out. And I'm not exactly sure why. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Christmas jinx. Maybe it was New Year's Day or New Year's Eve jinx. You know, maybe we went out and partied a little bit too much. Who knows? But it was a terrible, exactly, Phillips. It was a terrible performance by everybody, really, man. It was just a terrible performance. But my man Marty, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to everyone that's logged on. I'm glad everyone made it safe out of New Year's Eve. I'm glad we are, excuse me, glad we're here. We're about to start the 2018 year off right. The Knicks might not have started off right, but we're going to start it off right. Feel me? So, what are we going to talk about today? A lot to talk about. Lance came through in the first quarter, at least. He, in the first half, really, what was he? Made 3 threes, finally starting to make some threes. We need that from him. If he can continue to do that, that'll be a big boost for us. But definitely, Kenny, we looked soft out there. We didn't look like we really came to play. We were supposed to look like this on the second night of a back-to-back. But this was the first night of a back-to-back, and we looked like we weren't ready to play. It looked like we didn't have any legs, you know. Happy New Year's to everybody. And I'm hoping everyone's going to have a great year. Hope you got your goals set. I know I got my goals set. I got a lot of things planned for this year, for this channel, but for my other businesses as well. Got a lot of things planned. Hopefully you do too. Hopefully you're staying warm because we're in a real bad cold spell, just like the Knicks were tonight. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at what went on in the game tonight. It's not something I really want to take a look at, but let's take a look at it. What we do tonight? We shot, well, that looks like overall, this is overall matchups. Let's take a look at what the box scores were, the game stats. Let's see if we can find it. I'm trying, this is something a little bit new, right from the Knicks website. Box scores. I mean, Beasley, 18 points, 9 rebounds. He played hard. I'll give it to him. He had that one crazy play, where Manu Ginobili made the 3, but he took off with it. I don't blame him for it. Might as well. We got to try something, right? Courtney Lee, 13 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Frank didn't really do much tonight. Shot 25% from the field. Played tentative tonight. KP, where's KP? KP, 13 points. Was that 9 rebounds, but wasn't really that effective tonight. I don't know. Not sure what to say. It was one of those games that we were just, exactly, Robbie, we were just horrendous. We didn't look like we really came to play. We didn't look like we wanted it tonight at all. We shot, 40% from the field. After starting off with such a hot first quarter, we ended up shooting 40% from the field. Now, we know that San Antonio is a good defensive team. So we do have to make some understand that at least. They're a good defensive team. But we could have shot better. Last game we played, we had 30 something assists. Tonight we had 21. That's still a good amount of assists, but we shot poorly. 31%, 32% basically from three. We had 58 rebounds. We rebounded the ball pretty well. 14 turnovers, not too bad. On the other side, San Antonio only had 8. But it's the struggles of a team. KP got bullied by Aldridge. We knew that would happen, right? I mean, excuse me. KP really doesn't have any business guarding Aldridge down there in the post. KP's not made for that right now. But Hornacek tried it again. Put KP on Hornacek on Aldridge in the post. He did a little bit better than the first game, but still not enough. San Antonio's ball movement was great in the first half. Neri Jung, glad first time seeing you here. I'm glad you're joining us. It was, and they just didn't hit shots. In the second half, they started hitting shots. King Armani said we need a perimeter threat. I agree. We have some perimeter threats, but it's not consistent, right? We need some guys to be consistent from long range. We're not really shooting a lot of threes. Jeff Hornacek did say that he'd like to shoot more threes. Right now, we're not made that way. Tim Hardaway not being here hurts that, of course, because Tim Hardaway is a three. He likes to shoot threes. He's a 3-point shooter. Not solely a 3-point shooter, but he shoots threes. And of course, his transition play certain us. Dotson in a first rounder for C.J. McCollum. I doubt that the Blazers are going to be looking to trade C.J. McCollum, but not for Dotson in a first rounder. The Sessions appearance was a little bit interesting. I think Hornacek was grasping at straws, trying to see what he could get from the bench, seeing if Sessions could maybe get some penetration, maybe be a spark for us. Obviously, it didn't work. And I think he's grasping for a spark. And we're going to talk about Billy in a little bit, but I think Hornacek is grasping for someone to spark the team, especially on a night like tonight when we just didn't have anything going besides the first quarter. We looked like a team stuck in the mud. We couldn't get to. We just weren't there. We weren't ready. We weren't there. I'm gonna blame it on the New Year's Eve blues, though. That's what I'm gonna blame it on. I'm gonna give it to that. New Year's Eve blues. Needed. Who's Mark? You know what? You say, yo, why doesn't Frank drive when he gets in there and go back out? Why does he go back out? You know what? That's the way that he learned to play, I guess. Over in France, that was his style of play. That's kind of the style of play that they, overseas. There's a different style of play over there. And he's really looking to get his teammates involved and run the team. He's got to learn. He's still learning to be a little bit more aggressive. I seen a stat. I should have copied it down. I seen a stat where from November to December, October, November to December, his drives to the basket have gone up from 1 to 5, which is an improvement. Of course, he needs to continue to improve. He had a fast break in the first half. It was basically him and whoever was in front of him one-on-one. He's looking to see who's running with him to pass it, but instead, he's looking to see who's running with him to make the pass, where he should have been looking to just go. And by the time he decided to just go, he got blocked. So we need to get some people Yeah. Who's marked exactly? Attack the paint. We need to get him attacking the paint. He's got to get into that mindset to attack the paint. Attack. Emmanuel C. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Just bought that on vinyl. Illmatic on vinyl. You know, I had it on tape a while back. I just bought it on vinyl. So it's there. Yeah, definitely. I like to collect. I'm a collector. I like to collect vinyl albums. Alonzo, what's poppin', my brother, man? You say Jeff Hornacek is an idiot, not understanding why you continue to play Beasley and KP at the same time. Lance Thomas is a bum, but he continues to play him over Beasley. Well, he did talk about his reasoning for playing Lance Thomas. And I believe I have that. Let me see if I can find that. He talked about Lance Thomas's defense and that, you know, how his defense offsets what everyone else is doing, you know, and that we have a lot of scorers and we need more. We need people to continue to score so that Lance Thomas's defense can continue to offset other players' offense. Let's see if I can find it. This was like 1 or 2 days ago. I don't know. If I find it, I'll bring it back up. You say, who's Mark? You say Knicks don't get open shots because there's no one attacking the paint. Well, they were getting open shots. They were getting open shots off of ball movement. Teams have learned what they like to do. And so you're right. We need someone that'll break down the defense, get the defense scrambling a little bit, get the defense trying to collapse in, and then kick it back out, and then get some the ball moving around the paint after that. We are missing Timmy. Timmy was beginning to penetrate a lot more before he went out. Now, the word is that Timmy could possibly be back by the end of this month. Hopefully, the end of the month isn't too late. You know, we've got to, and it's up there. We'll talk about it. We've got to try to hover for a little while till we get Timmy back. But we do need more penetration. That's definitely something we need. We need more penetration so that we can get those kickouts. We also need KP, Mike Beasley. Beasley does it a little bit. When they get the ball in that mid-post area and that double team is coming, they got to learn how to pass it out a little bit quicker, get it out so the ball can swing around the perimeter so we can get some open shots as well. You know, those, that'll start to open the game up. Sometimes KP, he's pulling. He's young, but sometimes he's pulling some bad shots. Some shots that I think, he should swing it. And we need to swing it with a little bit more pace. What's happening a lot of times is, we do need penetration, but a lot of times right now, especially with like Courtney Lee, he's beginning to do it a lot. He's getting the ball, instead of keeping that ball on the move, he's putting it down and starting to dribble. Look to see, can I create for myself? And then we stall. We've got to, if we got the ball, you take a dribble or two and it's not there, get it out your hand. If you're going to go, just go. Don't play around with the ball out there. If you're going to go, go. If you're not going to go, let's keep it moving. So the guys can then get hit off of cuts and slashes, or the ball can swing and we can get an open shot. Instead, we're starting to catch the ball, let it stick. And let it stick. You said, what's Bucket's new name? Dougie Fresh? Emmanuel C. Dougie Fresh? KP, you say he's flopping too much? Oh, someone said Miss Buckets. That's his new name? Oh, miss miss buckets. He'll get it back, I think, though. I think he'll get it back. He's a role player, and talking about Dougie Fresh, he's a role player. You know, role players sometimes need stuff created for him. And a lot of times he was, McBuckets was getting his shots off of cuts and slashes where teams kind of scouted it out. When teams scout out what the role players do, it makes it a little bit harder for the role players to score. We need Jeff Hornacek to help the brother out a little bit. You say, I know. Doug Game is starting to stink. Well, like we said, Justin, Jeff Hornacek needs to help him out a little bit, get him open a little bit more. He's not going to create his own shot. He's one of the guys that's going to rely on the offense to be created for him. He's going to rely on the ball movement, those type of things, and then get open shots. And like I just said, he was getting them in the beginning of the season because teams didn't really know what we were doing. So we had some nice little plays set up to get them open. But teams kind of scouted it out now. So now it's a little bit harder for him to get it open. But he'll get it back, hopefully. And, Jeff Hornacek and the guys, they gotta work with him. They gotta try to find, they gotta make some adjustments. Crazy Beats, you say Cantor and Jack cannot be on the court at the same time. It's time to start KP with Noah if Jack is the starting point guard. Well, with Noah, Jeff Hornacek, he said it before the game. Like he said here, I'm going to bring this up for a hot second. He said, Jeff Hornacek won't alter Knicks' plans for tough back-to-back. Right. What's he say? He says, first game and then you worry about the next one, Jeff Hornacek. You have to approach it that way. Okay, maybe this is the wrong one. Well, anyway, Hornacek basically alluded to Noah as well as Billy Hernangomez and just saying those guys are going to be getting minutes when they're available, when the matchups, when they're needed for matchups. Right? Like you heard on the announcement tonight, Billy got in because of the matchups, because he knows how Pau Gasol plays. So I don't know how much. It doesn't sound to me like Hornacek is really thinking about playing Noah that much. Unless he's really needed, somebody's hurt, someone's injured, or someone's in foul trouble, then it looks like he'll get played. But it doesn't seem like he's going to get that much playing time right now. Ron Baker just needs a face mask. Yeah, Ron, I don't know. We'll see. He's got a, he's got, some kind of fracture or something like that. I didn't read the whole thing. What can Trey Burke do differently from Frank, Sessions, and Jack? Well, I haven't watched him play down in the G League. I'm not sure. He can probably get up the floor a lot more. He can penetrate to the basket. He can definitely he can score. I can tell you that. That's one thing that he'll do differently. Trey Burke, he can light it up. I guess he's decent defensively. Basketball IQ, maybe there's a question mark there. But he can definitely light it up. We've seen Trey Burke light it up, and yes, he can penetrate. He can get to the basket. Basketball IQ, I don't know. And maybe that's not even a problem in Jeff Hornacek's system. Maybe his system is made for Trey Burke. We don't know, but excuse me. Right now, it doesn't look like the Knicks have plans to give him a shot. If they did, I think they would have made a move. I think they're still holding out with Sessions in the event that Jared Jack, can't make the whole season. And they need a veteran point guard out there. So I think that's the reason why they're holding out with Sessions. Burke equals Jennings. You say you don't know why everyone thinks he's the answer. Hey, Marty, I don't know if everyone thinks he's the answer, but he can provide, I will say he can provide some penetration. I don't know if he's going to be the guy that gets us over the top or keeps us treading around 500. Who knows? But if he was the guy that we think he is, or some fans think he is, I think that the Knicks would have brought him up. There's a reason, I say it just about every show. There's a reason he's in the G League and not in the NBA. There's reasons for it. I mean, in the NBA, man, if you can ball, you're going to be on a team. You know what I'm saying? If you can play ball, you're going to be on the team. If, you can do something terrible, you know what I'm saying? And if you can play ball, you're probably going to be on the team. So, there's some questions about that, of course. What about Jordan Clarkson? Well, we talked about that in the last show, Vaughn. And, some people are for him, some people are not for him. But, of course, you have to figure, what do we give up? And, it's not something that would happen right now, of course, because, we still got a month and a half until the trade deadline is up. So, there's a lot of teams out there that if the Lakers are looking to trade Jordan Clarkson, there's a lot of teams out there that'd be, they'd be putting in, they'd be looking to make a trade for him, and they may have more things, more assets to, more assets to offer the Lakers than we do. But Emmanuel C, you say Minnesota's looking to offer Burke a contract. See how that goes. D Nice, you say, why is our offense game plan 70% ISO? I don't know. We've been talking about that, D Nice. We didn't start the season off that way, but the more we've gone into the season, we fell into that ISO game again, and we need to pull ourselves back out of it and get back to ball movement, Let's talk about this lazy play. Tonight, we played kind of lazy. We were really uninspiring after that first quarter. And you would think after losing to San Antonio in San Antonio that we'd come out like, okay, let's go get this one. Instead, we played like we were on the second night of a back-to-back. Was that just due to New Year's Eve, New Year's, or is there something more? What do you think? Did the coaches just not have their team ready? Did the guys go out partying? Hungover from New Year's? That could be the case, and, if that's the case, what are the, knowing that you got, I know they're young guys. Listen, I'm not stupid. They're young guys. They're going to go out and party. They're going to have a good time. That's how it's going to be. But you got vets there for a reason, right? You got vets there. I know we played the Spurs. I get that, Captain. We played the Spurs. And I'm not talking about us losing. I'm talking about just the effort. I mean, I seen a couple of plays where we're standing around and Pau Gasol, gets 2 or 3 rebounds on his own. That shouldn't happen. We played like we were stuck in the mud at times tonight. And I don't care who we play against. And even if I don't care who we play against and you get your butt beat, you can still bring energy and effort. And there were times it seemed like they didn't have that energy and that effort. Hopefully it was because of New Year's Eve and it's not something that's going to be a lingering problem. We have vets on the team that hopefully can get the team together and say, yo, this is not how we're going to perform. This is not the kind of culture that we're trying to build, So, we'll see. We'll see if it lingers. We got to turn around tomorrow. We play in D.C. I thought I was going to be going to the game. I'm not going to the game. Instead, I'm going to go watch my daughter play. I'm not going to miss my daughter's game. So I'll be catching the Knicks game a little bit late, but I'll still be here and I'll still be on. But I'm watching that closely because I'm hoping that it's not indicative or a sign of something more to come. Marty, you said we should have played Noah, and you know what? Noah would have came with energy. You know what I'm saying? We might have been playing kind of lazy, kind of slow, kind of stuck in the mud, but Noah would have brought some energy, and that's the kind of guy I agree. I think that we should start playing him a little bit more. We need to get him out there on the floor just because of his energy alone, and he can bring those type of things. We don't have to give him a ton of minutes, but I think he should get on the floor somehow. We got that glut at center, so I know it's hard. Mr. Get Fresh, you say, bad rotations. Hornacek's system isn't the problem. Either he overcoaches or undercoaches. Players will come out lazy at times due to this. That's a good point. I've seen, as a matter of fact, I've done videos on did Hornacek overcoach. Because I've definitely seen him overcoach. His rotations are sometimes questionable. I agree with you there. And, for some players, those type of things may impact them. If you don't know if you're going to play or you don't know if you're going to be getting snatched about, it might impact them. But also, if a player's not playing, you got to hold them accountable. So, if they're getting snatched out after a couple minutes because they're not playing hard, then that's what it is. But, I think tonight, if Hornacek seen that they really weren't playing hard, that's the time you send a message, man. You send a message. You snatch them all out and put in guys that's going to play hard. Now, have I seen teams or guys play less harder than what we played tonight? Yeah, so maybe it wasn't to that point. But, we've definitely, throughout most of this season, we've played hard every night. This was one of those nights where it just didn't seem like their mindset or their mind was in the game. So hopefully, we shake it off. They got a train ride to DC. Maybe they talk about it over the train ride, plane ride, whatever it is, and be able to shake it loose. Rudy Tay, you say being a Knicks and Giants fans is taking time off my life, but the Yankees keep me going. It's taking time off my life too, bro. Trust me. Definitely. It's taking time off my life, man. But, what am I going to do? I can't help it. I'm crazy. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm crazy. Giants fan too. So, now you guys, I seen someone ask about Willie. We're going to get to Willie in a little bit. Okay, Vaughn, you say, well, could we attribute their midseason mishaps to fatigue? Most of these players on this roster are getting more minutes in this season than any other respective careers except Lee, KP, and Jack. That could be. That's a good point. And even with KP, even if he's not getting more minutes or getting the same minutes than that he's gotten before, he's seeing a different type of game now, right? He is now the focal point. So he's got to do more. He has more responsibility, and that takes a toll on you mentally and physically. Courtney Lee is playing a bigger role than he's probably played in his career, besides maybe his first year in the league. In his first year in the league, he played a pretty big role with the Orlando Magic, I believe it was. And then you got, Jarrett Jack is a little bit older. Even if Tim Hardaway was here, he'd be playing a bigger role. He's playing a bigger role this year than he's ever played in his life. So that's a valid point. That's definitely a valid point. Guys are playing outside of what they're used to, and that takes a toll on you physically and mentally. But that's the league, man. That's the NBA, and if you want to be a good team, you got to be able to handle it. Now it could take them time to build that endurance. The mental endurance and the physical endurance to handle the loads that they're learning to handle now. Ishmael, you said Courtney's got to tone his role down. True. I feel like Courtney Lee has tried to take Hardaway's place, but not playing Hardaway's game, but take his place by being the second scorer on the team or something like that. And I think he needs to just play his role, just be who he is, and he'll be fine. Courtney Lee was really he was really getting it done for us early when Tim Hardaway was here. Now, he's starting to do some things that I'm not happy with, and I'm hopefully he turns it around. Now, let me ask you guys this. Can we hover over these next few games? Can we hover at 500 until Tim Hardaway gets back? Can we hover at 500 through this rough stretch? Even if we're a game or two, we get out of this stretch a game or two below 500, can we do it? If you look at our schedule, of course we know we got a lot of road games, but there's still some winnable games. We're a team that we're inconsistent. We don't know what we're going to get night to night from an offensive standpoint, sometimes a defensive standpoint. The one thing that we need to know we're going to get night to night is the energy, the effort, the hard work. That's something that we didn't bring tonight, but we need to know that we can bring those things night to night. Tamika Pearson, you say we can. Ken Sniffy, you say we cannot. Tamika, why do you say we can? Michael, you say we can as well. Let's take a look at the schedule, because the schedule is tough, but it's it's tough, especially because we're on the road. But we're also play some teams. We also play some teams that we can beat, right? So let's take a look. We're gonna take a look at the schedule a little bit. See what's going on. So we got next game. We got the Wizards in DC, right? I think we can win that game. Personally, I feel like we match up well with the Wizards. As a matter of fact, in the last show, we talked about the next few games. I said we'd lose in San Antonio and we would beat the Wizards. I think we can beat the Wizards. Even though John Wall is tough to deal with, I think we can beat him. Then we play the Heat. We can beat the Heat. Even though it's in Miami, we can beat the Heat. So we got a 3-game road trip coming up. We got the Wizards, we got the Heat, and then we got the Mavericks. right? We should be able to beat the Mavericks, although the Mavericks are playing better. They're playing better nowadays, so we can't take them for granted. We should be able to beat the Miami Heat. I'm not gonna say we should be able to beat them. It's a winnable game. And then from there we play Chicago, and then on Friday the 12th we play the Timberwolves in Minnesota. All right. Friday, let me see the Bulls. That's a home game against the Bulls. Then we go to Minnesota. Then we're at home versus the Pelicans. Then we're in Brooklyn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe not this game. I'm not gonna say it's not winnable, but that's a tough game. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 definite winnable games coming up. Right. The problem is we're on the road. So and that's been a problem for us all year. So Michael, you said we can take the next 3 games. GG Facepalm, you say it depends on if Wall and or Beal goes off. It could. No energy. You say, Jameer, you said we'll be lucky if we get one of those 3. You think so? So, of those 3, hopefully we should beat the Bulls. We've struggled with the Bulls, though. We lost to them twice in Chicago. We played them, finally get to play them at home. I think we'll beat the Bulls. I think we should beat Dallas. Miami is going to be a tough one. It's possible that we could win those next 3. D Nice, you say if we're hungry as a team, we can win the next 3 games. I think it's very possible we can win the next 3. Of course, Miami's not going to be easy. They're always a tough-minded, tough defensive team. So that's not going to be an easy win in Miami. Dallas, that's going to be maybe Dennis Smith Jr. is a little motivated. They're playing better, but we should be able to beat them. We should be able to beat them. Jameer, you said based on our role performances. I understand. Yeah, I get you. Hopefully, maybe we turned that around. I don't know. It's hard to say about tonight because, like many of you said, we're playing against the Spurs, right? So if we're playing against the Spurs, that's every year. I don't care what their record is or whatever. You get them guys in the playoffs, they're a team that can turn it on and go win a championship or go to the Western Conference Finals. They can do that. So, we do have, you do have to put an asterisk next to it when you're talking about our team because we played against the Spurs. I just didn't like the energy that they came out with. I wasn't really upset that they lost. Just don't like the energy that they came out with. They come out with the right energy, we have a chance to beat Miami in Miami. We definitely have a chance to win those 3. And then, we'll see. It'll be the first time. Well, it's the first time we going up against Dallas, and it'll be the first time we're going up against the Timberwolves. So we'll see how we match up with those guys. Yeah, the Bulls, they've had our number so far. We'll see what we can do against them, but they've been close games in Chicago. So coming home, hopefully, it'll probably be a close game again, but because we're home, maybe we'll be able to pull them out. And I seen someone say, hopefully, Dennis Smith Jr. takes it easy on Frank. I don't think we have to worry about that. Dennis Smith Jr. is going to come out and do what he does, and I think Frank will be up to he'll be up to it. He'll be up for it. I don't think we have to worry about that. He probably will try to show out. Crazy beats. Dennis Smith, he'll probably try to show out and do something. But I think Frank will show up against Dallas. Yeah, Justin. I know. I can't understand why what he sees in his reasoning for putting KP on LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't. Maybe it's maybe he thinks that KP's length affects Aldridge, but it doesn't look that way to me. You know. As a matter of fact, let's see what. Let's take a look. What do Aldridge have tonight? LaMarcus had 29 points, 6 rebounds. So it was obvious the last game having KP on LA Aldridge is just it's ineffective. You know, his length obviously doesn't bother him. And if his length doesn't bother him, then he's pounding KP down low. You know, and it just doesn't make sense. And yeah, Joakim Noah should have been on Aldridge. KP should have guarded Gasol. Cantor, if you're starting Cantor should have started on Aldridge. And then if you're subbing in Noah will play on Aldridge. You got a big body like that who can play defense. Why are you not using them? If you're saying that you're going to use him in certain matchups, well, tonight was a matchup that you could have used Joakim Noah. Tonight was one of those matchups. But he refused, I guess he's stuck in his ways, stuck in the things that he wants to do, but he could have used them and it could have been effective for us. Come back to here. So, looking at that schedule, that was the next few games. Well, let's go back to that schedule for a minute. Let's just go back for a minute. So we can look at a couple of other days, a couple of other games, because after we play the Nets on the 15th, then then we play. Let's go over again. Then we're the Grizzlies. That's a winnable game. The Jazz, we're in Utah. That's a winnable game. Then we're in Los Angeles on the 21st at the Warriors. We already know about that. The 25th, we're in Denver. The 26th, we're in Phoenix. These are games that are winnable, guys. The problem is that they're on the road, but these are games that are winnable. And then the 30th, we're in we're at home versus New Jersey. Those are games that are winnable. The problem is we're on the road. I think it's very possible that we could hover around 500 until Hardaway gets back. Hardaway, hopefully he'll be back by the end of the month. And then we can go into February, and well, I guess we could take a look at February when we get to it. But I think it's very possible for us to hover around 500. And then when Hardaway gets back, really try to make that push. Bless Love, you say, KP's length affected only Aldridge when we had Rolo behind him because Rolo was a good defender. But see, Bless Lover, you're right. And that's the reason why, he tried to put KP on Aldridge, playing him straight up. I guess hoping that his length was going to affect him playing him straight up. The better idea was letting Cantor play Aldridge, even though, Cantor may not be able to move as well laterally. He's got a big body. He can bang around with him. Gasol, he's going to spread out a little bit, but that gives KP a chance to be that weak side shot blocker on Aldridge. Knowing that Aldridge has the ball so much, obviously he did. He had 29 points tonight. That takes KP's shot blocking, his weak side shot blocking ability away. because Aldridge has the ball in his hands a lot. So then now it's just Aldridge going at KP. It takes that away. I don't think it's a smart move from Hornacek. Justin, you say, what's up with your boy Dougie McBuckets? Like I said, man, Dougie Fresh he's a role player. When role players, they're not going to create their shots. They rely on other people to create the shots for them. And he was earlier in the season. He was receiving a lot of cutting to the basket, right? Kylo Quinn find him. Mike Beasley catch him over in the corner. Mike Beasley still catches him there sometimes. But that one play where Frank gets the ball, Dougie McFresh, he'll hand the ball off to Frank. Frank will dip it over to Kylo Quinn, go around outside of Kylo Quinn, and then someone will set a screen for Dougie Fresh, and then Kylo Quinn will find him. People sniff that out. Teams, they sniff that out. And we've got to find some ways. Coach Hornacek got to find some ways to help Dougie Fresh. My man Jason, he said, I should coach the Knicks. I would love it. Give me the chance. I'll be there. I would love it. They don't even have to pay me a lot of money. I'd do it. Yeah, Sam. We're all saying the same thing. No one needs to be playing something. Especially, man, we got Noah there. He's making $17 million. He can play defense. He can rebound. He can pass the ball. Use him. Get our $17 million worth. Especially if he can help us. Sir Patrick Mack, we need a Chris Paul type point guard. I'm with you. I agree. So do you not think Frank can become that kind of point guard one day? Of course not today. But one day, do you think Frank can become a Chris Paul type point guard? High IQ. Chris Paul has a high IQ. I think Frank has a high IQ, and his IQ will continue to grow. He'll learn the little logistics of the game. The one thing, the only thing we will probably be worried about with Frank is, will his offense get to the level of Chris Paul's? But he has the tools offensively. It's not like he doesn't have the tools. He has the tools. So I think they can get there. If he continues to work on it, coaches continue to work with him. Once he gets aggressive, exactly. See, so once he gets aggressive and he doesn't have to be totally offensive minded where he's thinking to score every time he gets the ball. All he has to do is understand when to score and when to be aggressive, and I think he will. Crazy Beats, you say Knicks fans are too impatient. We are, especially this year with Frank. I think we're really impatient because you see what Donovan Mitchell is doing. People see what Dennis Smith Jr., what he's doing sometimes. And so they're like, well, Frank, we could have had those guys, and Frank isn't doing what those guys are doing, But, that first year, it's hard to tell who's going to be what that first year. You really got to wait for 3 years down the line to know who's going to be what and who's going to do what, and sometimes it takes even longer than that. And I think that, Frank is going to be on par with all of those guys. Exactly, Tamika. Frank will be exactly what we need, I think. I think he'll be on par with all of those guys. By the time we hit year 3, I think he'll be right there with them. I think he's strong. I know in the beginning of the year, people were worried about him being injury prone. I don't think he's injury prone. I was a little bit nervous about it myself. I asked the question, is he injury prone? I don't think so. I think it was a coincidence that those injuries happened, at the same time. But I think that Frank is going to be just fine. I think he may not be, the kind of guard that's going to come down and dunk on somebody, and that's cool. That's all right with me. All we need him to be is the kind of point guard that's going to lead us, and I think he'll be that. Year 3, exactly, Mars Jetson. Year 3, that's the year we want to look at. Like, this is year 3 for KP, and we see the strides and steps that he's taken forward, and we'll be looking for that same thing from Frank in year 3. And I think he'll get there. Well, I mean, he's 19. Frank's 19. He just turned 19 in like July. But, by the time he gets to be 23, he should be real tough, man. Yep. Hey, Marty, yeah. He Greg Popovich would love Frank. That's his type of player. And, as a matter of fact, when the Knicks drafted Frank, I put that on Twitter. I asked the question, who would Popovich draft, Frank or Dennis Smith Jr.? And in my mind, he would take Frank. So we just have to, a lot of people look at the rookie year and they say, oh, look who's doing this, who's doing that. But you don't know what guys are going to plateau in their rookie years too. Some guys are going to come out and have these great rookie years, and then they'll plateau in their rookie years as well. So we gotta give it some time. How much better would we be if we were coached by Pop? I think we'd be a lot better if we were coached by Pop. Definitely. I think, the part of the reason why is because, Pop is Pop. You know what I'm saying? He's serious. He's straightforward. He lets you know what you want, what your role is. And, he don't take no stuff. No matter who you are, he doesn't take anything. It doesn't matter who he has on his team. If you look at what happened with Melo and Hornacek and that whole thing, it wouldn't have went down like that with Pop, just because he has that kind of respect. And I think that's what makes Greg Popovich, because he's going to sit you down. He's going to let you know what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and he doesn't care who you are. Don't matter if you're Tim Duncan or you're whoever the last man on the bench is. Doesn't matter. He's going to let you know. And when you build that kind of culture, everybody can follow behind. We talked about it before. Everybody will follow behind because they trust him, they believe in the coach, and they know that the coach is going to be fair to everyone, and they buy into the culture, and they buy into the system, and they buy into everything that happens around that organization. And it has to start from the top of the organization. If you notice about San Antonio, you don't hear anything about the top of the organization. About who the general manager is and the executive teams and all that kind of stuff. You hear about Greg Pop, and you hear about the players, and then you hear about how much they win. Because those guys, they stay out of the limelight and they work. You know what I'm saying? They stay out of the limelight and they work. And they develop players and they scout. And that's what we need. And hopefully, Jameer, you're right. Every team will be better with Pop, most likely. But, that's the type of thing that we need to develop. Hopefully, we're on the way. Exactly, Captain. Frank, he has a lot of potential, and he'll get there. So let me ask you. Well, we seen Billy tonight. Is it Billy time? Is it time for Billy to play? Or, like we talked about earlier, was it simply the fact that he knew Gasol, he knows how Gasol plays, so he got some minutes later in the game? We need something fresh. We still need a spark. We got a nice win against the Pelicans, but I think we still need a spark. Do you think it's time to say, "Hey, let's let Billy play a little bit," or is he just going to continue, or should Coach Hornacek just continue to give him spot minutes here or there? I'm up in the air about it. I'm not sure. I mean, if he's going to come in and be able to give us some good minutes, I think when he came in tonight, he played well. He played okay. He played with some energy that I like, and that was good because other times when he came in, he didn't really bring that type of energy. Do you think that he's learned this lesson and now he can come in and play with some energy? Because I will say he offers something that, he offers a little bit more offensively than Kyle O'Quinn. He doesn't bring the same energy defensively, but if he could bring some of that same energy, just be decent defensively, he could be a boost for us, and he could be that spark that we're looking for. Because we still need a spark. It's obvious that we still need a spark. Marty say he looked happy. You say spot minutes, Tamika, and that's probably what he'll continue to get is spot minutes. It's probably what he'll continue to get. I would like to see him. I'd like to see Coach Hornacek try to use him as a spark. See if maybe we can get a little bit of a spark from him. Because we need something. We need something or someone to spark us until Timmy gets back. And I seen someone ask about the NPC. It's an NPC studio. Yeah, it's really thin. It's real thin. Real thin. I got it on some York studio foam that's kind of slanted so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's really nice. And this is the upgraded software from MPC. I think it's version 2.0 versus 1.9. I just upgraded to it. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I think that Captain said, can Willie play the 4 next to Noah with the bench? I don't think Billy stretches the floor enough in order to do that. Because Noah doesn't have, Noah doesn't have, he has no range. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have someone on the floor that can stretch it, then, you're just going to clog up the paint. And then we're really not going to get any penetration to the paint. Yeah, I think if you're playing Noah, you got to have KP on the floor, so you can have someone stretching the floor out. Phillips, yeah, I do music production. It's part of, I do music production, video production, and part of my business is music and social media and stuff like that. It's part of what I do. That's it. Bless Love You say, I feel like if you can't earn your minutes in practice, you shouldn't be out there that much in the real game. He should be out playing Cantor and Kyle O'Quinn. He should be better after an offseason. I agree with you, Bless Love. I definitely agree. And then also, though, I'll say sometimes you get into, let's say he started off the beginning of the year and he was kind of thought his spot was secured, really wasn't working as hard as he should have been, and then he lost it. Now he's working hard, but he can't get it back because Kyle O'Quinn and Cantor, they give so much. It could be a situation like that because it looked like he was working hard on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Tonight. Looked like he was working pretty hard on the floor tonight. So hopefully he'll be able to, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he's able to get some more minutes and do some things. And then, we also saw, I think someone brought it up earlier, we seen Dotson came in tonight, played a little bit. He didn't get many minutes. He didn't get a chance to do much. But I guess Jeff was maybe trying to find some time for other players so that since we were on first night of a back to back, maybe trying to get some rest to some guys or something. But we need a spark. We need a spark at this point in the season. Azoria Media, you say Billy is not as good as we think. He is one of those through Knicks glasses type of guy. Landry Fields, Tanning Fry type of guy. I mean, his numbers were undeniable though, man. I mean, when he played last year, he was on the way. If he had more minutes, he'd be a double guy. It's the defense. I think the defense is the only thing that holds him back, really. I'm not saying he's going to be, a superstar, but I think he can be a double guy easy. He just needs to bring that defense with him. Captain, you say you take Channing Frye right about now? I don't know. Man, you'll see. You say Fields was solid. He was solid, especially for a second round pick, but I mean, he's not doing much right now. Should the Knicks trade for Marcus Smart? I would love to have Marcus Smart, Ronald. I like Marcus Smart a lot. I love his toughness and his defense. I really like Marcus Smart. Who would I trade for Marcus Smart? I don't know. But I would love to bring Marcus Smart to New York somehow, some way, as long as it's a good deal for us. I'd love to have Marcus Smart in New York because I think he is the epitome of the way we want to play in New York. The epitome. Marty, you say he was a product of the triangle. Are you talking about Billy? You say that Billy was the product of the triangle? That could be true. That could be true, but I don't know. I think if you put Billy out there and he plays, you put him out there for 20 minutes, I think he gets 10 points, 10 rebounds in those 20 minutes. I do. I just don't think he can play defense that well right now. Captain, you say you hate Smart, but only because he's a Celtic. Yeah, right, exactly. I'm with you. Marcus Smart on this team would be, man, that'd be. I can't say too much about it. That'd be nice. Sir Patrick, you say you got two short-term wishes: Marcus Smart and Zach LaVine. They definitely upgrade us. Definitely upgrade us. Smart is in his last year. He is. Let's see. You say Marcus Smart is in his last year. Let's take a look at this real fast. Let's take a look at Marcus. Let's go over to Boston. Here we go. Marcus Smart. Yep. Marcus Smart makes $4,500,000 this year, and he has a qualifying offer for $6 million. Yeah. Not sure what exactly he's going to demand on the market, but I think the Celtics would probably want to keep him. Let's see. I don't know what the Celtics' money looks like. Well, we're looking at it right now, but let me see. Team payroll is 109, 110 million. I mean, they got some guys locked up. Next year they're already at 107 million. That's with his qualifying offer. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. That's something worth watching. for sure. That's something worth watching. Okay, we right now, do you think they'll move Hornacek after the season? Um, I don't think so. I think that they'll keep Hornacek here. It's especially so far we've played well, relatively well. Let's put it that way. We've played relatively well this season so far compared to what we were supposed to do. Um, for the most part, we've played with a lot of hustle. We've played with energy. We may not, of course, have won everything, but we weren't supposed to. We're a young team. We got things to learn. We're building, and we're in a playoff fight while we're building. So I think that they'll keep Hornacek around unless something just goes really crazy the second half of the year. If something goes really crazy, then maybe you could see it. But I think right now, I think they want to see where it goes. Yeah. So I think Hornacek will be here next year. Yeah. Right now, you said we have to worry about losing Zingis if the Knicks don't make the playoffs this year. I don't think so. I don't think we have to worry about losing them. I think it's more going to be based. I think it's going to be based on Porzingis' decision. Is going to be based on not if we make the playoffs. It's going to be based on the plan that we have to move forward. And does it look like we are a developing organization, not just on the basketball floor, but from an executive standpoint that is actually building something. We're not just trying to fit pieces together or patch our way through. We're actually building something for the long run. I think that's what his decision will be based on. Now, if Porzingis decides not to re-up with, I don't want to say re-up. If he decides not to sign an extension, which he probably will not do. If he decides not to sign an extension this year, that doesn't mean that he's going to be a free agent. All right, he can sign an extension this year, and if he signed an extension, then that could, he could sign an extension for another, whatever many years. But he probably won't. Then in 2018, 2019, he'll still be on the team, of course. And then the summer of 2019 is when he could become a free agent. Then, and so I would think he's probably going to decline his rookie extension because becoming a free agent, he's going to be able to make a whole lot more money. So I think that's where that's going to stand. And I think he wants to be in New York, and as long as the team shows that we're serious about building a contender, I think he'll be here. So that's going to be up to Steve Mills and Scott Perry to prove it to him. But I think we're on the right track, though. Ronald Martinez, you said we're going to need Billy in the playoffs because everything slows down in the playoffs. I would think we're going to need Noah more than Billy in the playoffs. You're right. Things slow down a little bit, but Noah will be able to. He understands what it's like in the playoffs. He's been in the playoffs. He's he knows what it is. He knows what it's about. And Billy, he hasn't experienced it yet, not in the NBA. So I think Noah would be we benefit from having Noah in the playoffs more than Billy. But that doesn't mean I'm saying Billy can't help us. I just think that we would benefit more having Noah in the playoffs than Billy out there on the floor. KP would be a fool not to explore. Exactly, Nakwan. Exactly. He's got to explore his options. You know what I'm saying? You got to see what you got to see. And I think he'll re-up with New York because the way things are set up, they'll be able to offer him the most money. But you got to, in order to make sure that the team is doing what they're supposed to do, the organization is doing what they're supposed to do, you got to put it out there and say, hey, I may not re-up with y'all. So, let's get it right. So, let's talk about the Knicks and the Wizards. Like I said earlier, I think that we match up with the Wizards. For some reason, we seem to match up well with them. I think it's a game that we can win. I'm not saying we're going to, but I think we definitely can win it. Especially in D.C., there's going to be a lot of New York fans. That the train ride is about 4 hours away. If they're taking the train, about an hour plane ride. So they should still be able to have that comfortable feeling besides going to a new arena. Then once they get there, there's going to be a lot of Knicks fans there anyway. So I think they should be kind of comfortable in D.C. Definitely, Jet. We're gonna need some help on John Wall. Obviously, I think Courtney Lee can handle Bradley Beal. Let's see. Let's take a look. Try to go back and take a look at some matchups. Let's see what's going on. Sauce Master, you say you got to go with the Wizards. I feel you on that. I got you. I hear you. I mean, the Wizards, they're a tough team. They can play defense. They can go ahead and score. They can get up and down the floor. But I think we can. I don't know, for whatever reason we match up with them. If you put Frank on John Wall, he might learn a couple lessons. You know what I'm saying? Rudy tell you say Bill is gonna kill us. In the past he has, but Courtney Lee is playing great defense this year, I think. He is having a good year. Bill is definitely having a good year. But Courtney Lee is playing a lot of good defense. And, as long as he can fight over those screens, because they're going to be sending Bradley Beal off a lot of screens. That's how they use him. Courtney Lee will be okay. He's just going to have to fight over those screens. Let's go to NBA.com. So Courtney Lee's gonna be busy. Frank may play Bill a little bit. He's gonna be busy. Frank is definitely gonna play against John Wall, so he's gonna have to be ready to go. Jack is gonna have to be ready to go because you're dealing with John Wall, man. John Wall is serious. Matter of fact, John Wall is like probably my favorite point guard in the NBA. I just really like his game. I like his speed. I like his game. He improved his jump shot. He knows how he can distribute the ball. He can do everything that you need a team to do. John Wall can do it. A point guard to do. John Wall can do it. So let's take a look at the Wizards a little bit. Let's look at this matchup. See where we are. The NBA. We played them in the preseason when we played them. I was at this game. Of course, this is preseason. Tim Hardaway had 23 points. Otto Porter had 8 assists. Ron Baker was playing. This was preseason. This was a preseason game. I was at that one. But I want to take a look at the Wizards. All right. So, they're 21-16. Hitting their stride. They had some struggles earlier in the year, but they're starting to hit their stride a little bit. You got guys coming off the bench like Kelly Oubre. He can play a little bit. Otto Porter plays, he plays great defense and he can score. Of course, you got John Wall. Let's look at what they did against the Bulls. So you got Otto Porter, Marquise Morris, Morsingo Top, Bradley Beal, and John Wall. Bradley Beal had 39. It's tonight's game. That was Sunday. So Bradley Beal had 39 last game. John Wall 21 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. These guys ball, and they get up and down the floor. You're right, Phillips. We're gonna have to defend the 3. All right, we're gonna need Beasley to go off. See, this is the type of game that Beasley can get off with, in my opinion. Who's gonna, you got Marquise Morris, maybe is gonna match up with him a little bit. Or who's gonna really guard Beasley? Who would guard Beasley? I think Beasley can get off. I'm gonna expect Beasley to have a good game. I think Beasley will have a good game tomorrow night. I think that KP, Marquise Morris may be able to rough him up a little bit. He's going to play tough on KP. KP might have another game where he struggles. But if he gets the ball, he goes up quick. Don't hold the ball playing around with the ball. He gets the ball, he goes up. And we try to get KP moving off the ball instead of catching the ball, posting up at the high post, trying to post him in the low post. We keep him on the move, then maybe we can get Marquise Morris in a little bit of foul trouble. It doesn't look like Jody Meeks is playing much. I'm glad, because I know in the preseason he was killing us from 3. Keep him out of there. Keep him out the game. You say Porter will try to stop Beasley. Maybe so. He might play Beasley a little bit too. But I think Beasley be able to handle him. You know what I'm saying? Bless Lover, you say I never seen a lefty drive so much like Beasley. Yeah, Beasley, exactly, he does, and it's hard to stop, man. I think Beasley will go off, Mars. I think Beasley could have a good game tomorrow night. Because I'm not sure. I don't know if Marquise Morris is going to be able to guard him. I don't know if Otto Porter can really guard him. I do think Marquise Morris could give KP some fits, though, because he's physical and he's tough. But if KP plays it the right way, then KP could have a night too, maybe. You say Morris is hurt? No, I don't think so. I mean, he played the other night. That was the last game versus the Bulls. He played versus the Bulls, played 24 minutes, 5 points, 11 rebounds. Say KP better not try to dribble behind the arc. What I want KP doing is, like he's been doing, he's been working on it. Let's catch the ball and go up. Let's not really catch the ball and play with it. Just make a quick decision and make a move. Not force anything. And if he doesn't have it, get it out. Get it back out to a guard. Let's start over. That's what I think KP needs to do against Marquise Morris. To avoid Markieff Morris being able to push him off his spot or play rough or play tough with him. I think that KP needs to get his shot up quick. Don't play around with the ball. Got to watch Mike Scott. He always plays well against the Knicks. You're right, he does. And, Mike Scott's playing well. He had 17 points, 4 rebounds against the Sixers. If Bless Lovely say, if Beasley is on and Jeff plays him, he could drop 40 on their forwards. Their forwards are too small for him. Their bigs are too slow. I agree with you, Bless Lovely. That's exactly where I am. I agree with you. Who's going to guard him? I don't know who's going to be able to guard Beasley. And Beasley shoots a high percentage. He's a you get Beasley down in that paint for the most part, he's going to convert. You say Jeff deprives Beasley because he favors 19, because he favors KP. KP is the guy, so that's going to happen. Yeah. Excuse me. You say the Pacers play the Bucks tomorrow and the Pistons versus Heat. That's good. That is good news. Let's take a look at the standings. Let's see where we're at right now. Look, Miami is 7th. Indiana 19 and 18. We're 18 and 19. If we can pull out a win, we can even it up with Indiana. But you see, Philadelphia, they're trying to run up on us a little bit. Yep. We are in a dogfight. Every game, man, is crucial. If we want to make the playoffs, all these games are crucial. One loss right now, well, it's not going to send us down to the 11th seed. But, we're in a dogfight right in here. We're in a fight right in here. You see Miami is 6-4 in their last 10 because, that's what we play next. That's not going to be a walkover. Although they're not playing that well at home. They're 8-9 at home, Miami. So, that's going to gives us a shot since, they don't play too well at home. Philly's playing the Spurs. Okay, so they could lose. Let's take a look at that for tomorrow night. Let's see what's going on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's game, Houston and Orlando, San Antonio and Philadelphia. They could lose. Us in Washington, Minnesota, Brooklyn, Detroit Pistons, Detroit and Miami, Cleveland, Boston, Indiana Pacers and the Bucks. Okay. Yep, Bucks could win that. Could drop Indiana down. So if we can win, Indiana loses, we can tie that up. I'm not sure. I think we have the tiebreaker because when we beat Indiana by more points than they beat us. So I think we would have a tiebreaker there. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. And the Wizards right now, 5th seed in the East. Sure, Marty. That's right. Every game counts right now. Every game. And that's why it's important that we find a way to tread water and stay at that 500 mark from now until we get fully healthy, and then see if we can make a move. Robert Brown said Jeff played 13 guys tonight. He should have kept it to 9 and let the players find their groove. Yeah, and he probably did it because we have a back-to-back. That's probably why he played 13 guys tonight. And then, Dotson came in and played early in the game, and I think, he brought in Sessions and Hernan Gomez, because he was scratching for something. He was scrapping for something to give us a spark. You know, and I think that's why those guys came in tonight. Exactly, Drew. If we can stay 500 on the road, we got some hope. That's all we gotta do. We can stay 500 throughout January. We can stay at that 500 mark. Then we got some hope. Come around when Tim Hardaway gets back. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Mars, you said why not play no more? We've talked about it. I think Jeff Hornacek has his guys, and right now I think Noah's going to be just basically based on matchups and lineups and things like that. Captain, he said early in the season we played Cantor more to end the games. Since his back injury, we haven't seen him in as much. That's true. And I think that Jeff Hornacek is a little nervous about his defense in the end of games as well. But that's where I think Noah can come in. I do understand that Cantor has some troubles defensively, but that's where Noah can come in, because Noah can play defense. You can use Noah a little bit more in late game situations, especially when you got to guard someone who's big and strong. Yeah, you said why just get the ninth seed? Hey, it could happen, man. It could happen. But as long as we trying to win, that's what I'm worried about. We try to win. We're trying to develop the team, and we're trying to win at the same time. And I don't mean like trying to win it all. I mean, we're developing the team, but every night when we go out, we try to win. We're not trying to tank. We're trying to win games, and play the best we can play. And if we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs. And then if we end up like the ninth seed, I think if we're doing all the right things and not trying to cheat the game and cheat the system, we'll be all right. As long as we got our management together, and our management, they're doing, they're scouting the right way, those type of things, I think we'll be good. Mars, who's that? Oh, C. Lee? Man, what kind of pick do you think we're really going to get for Courtney Lee, though? A second round pick? We're not going to get a first round pick for Courtney Lee. I mean, I know he's playing well. He plays defense. He needs capping, right? He needs to regain his shot, needs to find a shot again. But we're not going to get a first round pick for Courtney Lee. He's 32 years old. His contract, he doesn't have he has a decent contract, but his contract, he's under contract for another 2 years. Nobody giving up a first round pick for him. Not for, even though Lee is a good role player, he's a guy that's been bouncing around the league a little bit. He's been in New York for 1.5 years, and it's like the longest that he's been on a team, or close to the longest that he's been on a team. So I don't think we get a first round pick for Courtney Lee. I think we would get a second round pick, or might not even get a pick at all. Might just be a trade, for another guy. Lee is good. I like Lee a lot. I like, what he brings to the team, and I still like his leadership in the locker room with guys and stuff like that. So I don't think, if you trade Courtney Lee, I think it's in a package, where you're bringing something back, and he feels something for a team, or maybe it's a 3-way trade and he goes to a championship contender where he can fill in the spot. Someone thinks he puts him over the top or something like that. But I don't think there's going to be a market for Courtney Lee out there by himself. Ishmael, you say Courtney Lee shot well tonight, but then he went into his mellow form and he couldn't handle it. Yeah, I know. He gets into these moments, man, where he starts, going one-on-one. And maybe some of that is due to Jeff Hornacek. I can remember last year, when Jeff Hornacek would tell him that he wanted Courtney Lee to create his own shot more. And, you know, because he would play his role a little bit. Now this year he's trying to create his own shot, but he's doing it the wrong way, I think. Sometimes, yeah, he'd go off the dribble, create a shot, and then sometimes I think, but more than likely I think he needs to just play within the offense. Jameer, you're right. JJP, I mean, I don't want to trade Lee. I was just, respond to someone said, trade Lee for a first round for a draft pick. And I don't think you trade Courtney Lee. I was just responding saying I don't think you get much for Lee anyway. Even if you did try to trade him, you're not going to get a first round pick. Maybe a second round pick. You'd have to couple Lee with other players to get something back, really. And I think he's more valuable to us than trading him for a second round pick. You said, much respect to C. Lee. He's having a career year. I trust your shot more than KP's. Listen, hey, bless lover. I want Courtney Lee to shoot as much as he wants, honestly. Matter of fact, that's how I coach. I coach all my players. You shoot a shot if it's open. If you don't, I'm taking you out the game. I want you to shoot the ball. You got to be a threat on the floor. My only rule with my players is that they be good shots. And especially with young players, you got to teach them what a good shot is, though. Because some players, every shot is a good shot, right? So you got to teach these guys what a good shot is. On the NBA level, hopefully you don't have to do that. But on my level, hey, you guys, you got to teach them what a good shot is. And then my rule is that you got 3 dribbles to get to the basket. If you ain't get to the basket in 3 dribbles, you need to pass the ball. And if you can't do that, you can come sit next to me. And you can pass me the balls to put in the ball bag when we leave. You know what I'm saying? So I want Courtney Lee to shoot the ball. I just don't want him. He gets into these dribbling fits, and I don't want to see those dribbling fits. Because it stagnates the offense. You know what I mean? I want to see him, if he's going to go, just make his decision to go. Go and get a bucket if that's what he's going to do. Go cool. You say we need more polished vets. Someone who won chips or playoff experience. That true. That's not easy to come by in the NBA because most of those guys are on teams that already won. And so they're staying there. There's a few guys. Courtney Lee's been to the finals. Joakim Noah's been to the conference finals. He's got some serious playoff experience, and which is one of the reasons why Joakim Noah should be getting a little bit more playing time. KO is definitely our best option to trade, and I think KO. I've been thinking about it a lot more, and I think KO may get traded, man. Kylo Quinn is a, excuse me, he can opt out of his contract at the end of this summer. And I think he's definitely going to opt out of his contract because he's going to be worth more on the market. And we can get something for him somewhere, and we can clean up that glut at center a little bit if we trade him. I like him. I'm not going to lie. I like Kylo Quinn. I like, the energy that he brings. I think he's a good locker room guy. I'd like to keep him around, but I think he's going to be able to get more elsewhere because we have so many bigs and guys that can fill in. I think he's going to get more elsewhere. So we might as well try to trade him, get a 3, maybe get a second round pick or something like that. But, guys, it's 12:14. I'm going to head out, especially we're going to be on tomorrow night. Hopefully, tomorrow, I'm going to have Skype up and ready to go. And I'm going to, I'll have it up and I have a time where we'll go through each topic. As we get to the end of a topic, I'll ask some people to get on Skype in, say, get on and say a few words or ask a question or whatever it is. And then, and we'll see how it works. Hopefully it works good. So I'm going to try to have that Skype up tomorrow. I've been working on it. So hopefully I had a Skype up tomorrow. And even if you don't Skype where I can see you and everyone can see you, you should be able to speak. So hopefully I'll have that up and rocking tomorrow. But I will be on. The game is at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So I should be on about 10:15, something like that. All right. But for tonight, I'm going to call it a night. I hope I see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you sleep easy. Try to stay warm. If you're in some place that's warm, stay warm for the rest of us, all right? Sanga, you said, thanks for a great show. We will persevere. Tomorrow we turn the shit right. I'm with you, brother. Definitely, I'm with you. So, yeah, I'm going to have that Skype up there tomorrow. Also, I am setting up a website. You might have seen it a little bit tonight. I'm still working on it a little bit, but it's not going to be a whole lot to it. But, you can go there and check out the schedule. People can see the live streams. I have the live stream on there, of course. You'll be able to get some tickets from there. But I'm slowly planning to have some events, and you'll be able to find details about those events on the website when I have them. So I'm going to put it in here so you can check it out, right, with what it is right now. Of course, it's still in development mode. 2 more days, it should be, the site should really be up and ready to run. And I'll keep it moving. I'm going to have a forum on there where we can talk in the forum and stuff like that. And it'll be optimized for mobile and everything. So, if you want to, just go on and look at it and see what it is. If you have any suggestions, give me some suggestions, and we can go with it from there. I've been working on some other things, so hopefully I can get some background music going as well. I don't know if that's going to be ready for tomorrow. I've had to work out some kinks because I wanted to make sure when it's streaming live, everything sounds good and stuff like that. But if you get a chance, go ahead to that website, check it out. Give me some feedback, what you think we should do with it. Right now, it's really going to be informational. I'm adding more things as we go. It'll be a slow climb, slow growth for it, But I'm out. I will see y'all tomorrow. And stay warm, people.